If you are working from the OpenStack command line with the purpose of starting some instances, you are working on different tasks that don't seem too related to one another. And that's why I want to start this lesson by giving you an overview of the big picture, so that you know exactly what you are doing. So if you want to run an instance, the first ingredient in the instance is the image. The image is delivered by glance. And the image is basically what you are using to spin off the instance. It's like a Linux live CD where you boot off the live CD and which is giving you an operating system. The next important component is the flavor. The flavor is managed by Nova, and it is defining the hardware settings that the instance is going to use. Next, you need networking. The minimum is a private network, which is provided by the Neutron service. On the private network, typically there's a DHCP server, and the DHCP server is providing an IP address to the instance. And that's all nice, but in order for the instance to be accessible, you also need to configure a security group, which is also a property of Nova. A security group basically is a set of firewall rules that are going to be associated to the instance. Now, as an instance is booting off an image, in images it's not a very smart idea to have a default password, and that is why you need SSH keys, also managed by Nova. So you are basically going to assign a key pair to the instance. And by granting this public key to the instance, you'll be able to use SSH to log in to the instance, to do whatever you need to be doing in the instance. And once you have done all that, you can start the actual instance itself using Nova boot. So Nova boot is going to start up the instance and give you an operational instance. But the work hasn't been done after you have issued a Nova boot, because you want to use a floating IP address in most cases as well, which by the way is managed by the Neutron network service. The floating IP address is the IP address that is going to expose the instance on external networks. And also you might want to use a volume, which is provided by the Cinder service. This volume is making sure that from within the instance you'll be able to store files in a permanent way. And all of these, that makes 8 different steps. These are all typically needed when deploying an instance from the command line. So if you do that for the first time from the command line, that really looks like a lot of commands. And it's important that you see how these commands are necessary and why they are needed in order to boot up an instance. Let's go to the next lesson where we will start working on the first of these commands.